Today, we're diving into a book that might just change everything you think about money. T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. We're going to unpack a pretty wild idea that your financial success is already kind of predetermined by a hidden script in your subconscious. But here's the best part. We're going to show you how to find that script and completely rewrite it for wealth. You know the feeling, right? You work hard, you do all the things you're supposed to do, but your bank account just ends up in the same spot year after year. Well, if that's you, you're not alone. And according to Eker, the problem isn't how hard you're working. The problem is your internal programming. Okay, so let's get right to the core concept. Eker calls it your money blueprint. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a thermostat for your finances. Let's say yours is unconsciously set for, $50,000 a year. Even if you get a huge bonus, your subconscious will find a way, through overspending, a bad investment, you name it, to bring you right back down to that set point. So, if you want to change your financial reality, you first have to change the setting on that inner thermostat. So, let's dig into how this hidden blueprint actually runs the show. Because your bank account, it's not random. Eker says it's basically a perfect printout of this deep internal programming. Eker lays out this really powerful chain reaction. See, it all starts with your programming. That programming dictates your thoughts. Those thoughts then create your feelings. Your feelings are what drive your actions. And it's your actions that ultimately produce your results. This is so key. You can't just try to change your actions and expect things to stick. To get a different result for good, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the chain, to your programming.
So where does this programming even come from? Well, Eker boils it down to three main sources. First, there's what you heard as a kid. Things like money doesn't grow on trees or rich people are greedy. Then there's modeling. You either ended up copying how your parents manage money or you rebelled against it completely. And finally, there are those specific emotional events around money that can leave a really deep mark.
And this story just perfectly illustrates the power of that verbal programming. Eker tells the story about a guy named Steven in one of his seminars. He was earning an incredible salary, like $800,000 a year, but was constantly completely broke. Why? Because growing up, his mother had drilled into his head that rich people are greedy pigs. So his subconscious mind, trying to be a good son, would sabotage him every single time he got close to being wealthy. He'd spend it, he'd lend it, he'd lose it, anything to avoid becoming one of those pigs. It's just an amazing example of how one little phrase from childhood can control your entire financial life as an adult. Okay, so that's the problem. But here is the fantastic news. Your programming is not permanent. You are not stuck with it. So let's get into the fix. Eker gives us a super clear 4-step process for totally rewriting this inner code. So here they are, the 4 steps to reprogramming your mind. First is awareness. You just have to notice the code that's running in the background. Second, understanding. You trace that code back to its source, figure out who wrote it and why. Third, and this is a big one, disassociation. You realize this old program is just that, a program. It isn't the real you. And that means you can choose to uninstall it. And finally, number 4, reconditioning. This is where you consciously install a brand new operating system, one that's designed to support wealth. And for that last step, reconditioning, this is your number 1 tool. Eker is a huge proponent of making powerful declarations. Now, I know, it might sound a little strange at first, but by saying a new belief out loud with real energy, you're literally creating new neural pathways in your brain. You are actively overriding those old, unhelpful files with new ones that will actually serve you. So what are these new files we should be installing? Well, this is where Eker introduces his 17 wealth files. These are the specific, fundamental ways that millionaires think differently than most other people. Let's look at a few of the most powerful ones. This first one is it's a massive difference in perspective. On the left, you've got the victim mindset. Life happens to me. You're just a passenger getting tossed around. But the millionaire mind on the right believes, I create my life. They know they are in the driver's seat. That means no blaming, no justifying, and absolutely no complaining. They're not just playing the money game trying not to lose. They are playing to win, period. This one is huge. While most people are constantly scanning their environment for what could go wrong, the wealthy are scanning for what could go right. They see potential where other people only see roadblocks. And here's the really crucial part. They feel fear, just like you and me. They aren't fearless. The difference is they don't let that fear stop them. They act anyway. That is the very definition of courage, and it is a cornerstone of building wealth. Here's a hard truth from Eker. Your income can only grow to the extent that you do. Wealthy people are obsessed with learning. They don't pretend they have all the answers. They are hungry for new knowledge and new skills. And they know that who you surround yourself with is everything. Energy is contagious, so they make it a top priority to hang out with positive, successful people who lift them up, not people who drag them down.
And this right here, this might just be the single most important declaration in the entire book. Ecker suggests you literally touch your head and say this out loud every single day. It's not about being arrogant, it's about conditioning your mind to operate from a place of success and abundance, making it your default setting. Okay, so we've covered the mindset, which is the foundation. Now let's get into the practical, hands-on tools you can start using right away to build wealth.
This is probably Ecker's most famous practical tool, the 6 jars system. The whole concept is beautifully simple. Every single dollar that comes into your life gets a specific job. The most important jar is that financial freedom jar. 10% of everything you make goes in there, and you never spend it. That's your golden goose, your money-making machine. But look, it's not all about strict saving. There are also jars for play, for education, and for giving. This system is designed to help you build wealth while actually enjoying your life. And here's the key to this whole system. The amount of money you start with is totally irrelevant. It's all about building the habit. Like Ecker says, until you show you can handle what you've got, you won't get any more. You've got to prove to the universe, and more importantly to yourself, that you can be trusted to manage $10 before you'll ever be given 10,000.
So let's bring all this home. Why is reprogramming your mind so incredibly important? Because at its heart, Ecker's entire message is that creating wealth is not an accident. It's not a lottery ticket. It is a conscious choice. At the end of the day, this isn't just about having a big pile of money. It's about what that money gives you. It's about having the freedom to choose your path, the confidence to go after your biggest dreams, and the power to design a life on your own terms, not one that's dictated by your bank account. So the choice really is yours. You can keep letting your old default programming run your life on autopilot, or you can decide to take the wheel, rewrite your blueprint, and create the financial destiny that you truly deserve. The only question left is, what will you choose?